sunshine, especially across the northern part of our area. But if you're just joining us, I'm going to pull it up on Facebook Live. If you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and ask me some of those answers there as well. I'm actually looking at one of the weather posts from the Storm Prediction Center. This is for Wednesday ahead of the cold front. It does look like they've nudged a level 1 out of 5 risk back into portions of our area, basically along and north of I-40, west of 75. So that is something that we'll monitor very closely for you here in just a few moments, and we'll have more on that coming up in just a little bit. So I'm going to pull up our Facebook page. Once again, if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in there. I'll be more than happy to answer those for you. Going throughout this Facebook Live. So with that being said, I see a couple of people are joining us. Let's talk about what's going on with our current conditions. Right now we are dealing with a little bit of those clouds as well as the mist, the drizzle, just kind of a chilly, kind of raw afternoon, feeling more like a fall and late winter day out there. Unfortunately, not any snowfall in the forecast. I know a lot of people are hoping that we could get at least a little bit of what is called snowfall for Christmas, but unfortunately it does not look like it's going to happen for us. Let's see, Patricia. When did I start here? I've been here about a year and a half. So I've been here for almost 2 years now, fully. I'm coming up on year 3. But what we're dealing with right now is temperatures back into the upper 50s to low 60s across the valley. 61 in Knoxville to 60 in Maryville. Sevierville, 63 degrees. 50 though in Oneida to Williamsburg. So you can kind of see where that wedge is setting up. And what we're dealing with is what's called a warm front. This is eventually going to lift up to our north. It's going to bring some gusty winds with it as well. And it's really going to begin to kind of bring in some of those more mild like temperatures, custom to what we're seeing in maybe late spring. So that's what we're looking at there. So no issues as you're stepping out the door this afternoon. Radar on cloud track, very quiet. Yes, the clouds are there. We've got areas of shower activity kind of moving towards the foothills and the mountains. But outside of that, we're all quiet. It's more so as we head during the day on Wednesday now that we look to see some of the big impacts in terms of this first alert weather day and why we are issuing that for you. So, of course, this is what we're kind of going to break down for you. I want to show you the wind gusts now, and then we'll kind of compare it to what's going to happen in about 24 hours from now. So right now, we're looking anywhere between, say, 10 to 15 mile per hour gust at times. So not very breezy out there. That's the good news. Jan says, thanks from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. No problem. Happy holidays to all. Well, yes, happy holidays to everybody as well. Whether you're not going out of town for Christmas, we'll kind of break down that forecast for you as well coming up over the next couple of days. So let's talk about what's happening through the rest of this afternoon and this evening. Knoxville going to be seeing some of those cloud cover around at least through the rest of today. There could be a few spotty showers out there as well. Mist and drizzle. I was out at Oak Ridge earlier today, and you could see that some of those heavier showers were kind of moving through. It's not necessarily a heavy rainfall, but more of that nuisance rain that's bringing that mist and that drizzle in that we're dealing with at the moment. So as we head through the rest of tonight, here it is, 2:33 o'clock in the morning. This is the latest computer model run coming in as we speak, actually, showing you that we do have some heavier downpours, maybe a few rumbles of thunder for areas like Crossville to Wartburg to Jamestown. I think that's your best opportunity for rainfall tomorrow, at least early on in the morning. You can see some of that trying to slide down into Knoxville as well. But this is just kind of a precursor, first batch that's going to be coming through. And then once we head into tomorrow morning, that's when winds will really begin to kick up. I have a lot of questions from people asking about winds from time to time, and this is definitely going to be a pretty breezy afternoon. But here's what happens as we go throughout the day on Wednesday. So we'll start it here 9:30 in the morning. That you can see some of those showers and downpours. That could be the area of concern that we could see maybe a stronger storm or two. Overall risk for severe weather remains fairly low, so that's the good news. But now the Storm Prediction Center has slid it a little bit farther towards the east, and it does include areas of Knoxville back west in that level 1 out of 5. And I don't have that graphic because that's just coming hot off the press for you. So I'll have to have that for you coming up on WVLT News at 3:30 and 4. Of course, meteorologist Ben Cathy, he'll be with me this evening as well, kind of timing this out. But here's what we're looking at in terms of timing. I think really things kind of get going as we head closer to, say, noon, 1 o'clock, especially for areas to the north and west of Knoxville. So, say, Jamestown to La Follette to Williamsburg to Monticello. What we're going to have is kind of a fine line of these showers and storms coming through, and they could pack a bit of a punch in terms of gusty winds, heavy rainfall, maybe some frequent lightning as well. But as it moves off towards the east, that's when things begin to kind of wind down just a little bit. It doesn't hold together as easily. Areas to the east not under the gun as much as what we are because this line kind of breaks apart. And that's why we had that first alert day for you between the hours of, say, 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. tomorrow. So during that main rush hour period. And a lot of it's just for that messy commute. And we could still see those showers and downpours lingering even through the afternoon and evening hours. So that is something that we're going to watch very closely for you in case we see some ponding on the roadways. causing some hydroplaning concerns as well as some of those gusty winds out there that may bring down a few loose trees, especially across the higher elevations, maybe even here into the valley as well, as we'll be dealing with those gusty winds. So here's what you need to know for that first alert weather day tomorrow. Not necessarily for severe weather, which is good news. We don't want to have any of that around, but what we are dealing with is, of course, Wednesday morning, quiet first half of the day, warm and windy, so that risk level is low for the morning commute. Wednesday rush hour, so starting right around lunchtime into the evening rush, that is when we're kind of in that moderate category for the ponding on the roadways between about 4 to 8 p.m. Now we can kind of slide that back up just a little bit, probably more so 2 to 6 now with the latest computer models coming in this afternoon. So that's what we're dealing with there. Wednesday night, isolated showers and some cooler winds are going to definitely be the factor. So impacts to your evening commute, heavy rainfall at times, could be some stronger storms in the mix as well. Winds gusting to 40 miles per hour. Visibility, that's going to be on the lower end of things as well. So that's something that we'll be watching very closely. But your commute forecast for Wednesday evening, this is the main reason that we've issued that WVLT First Alert Weather Day, because we are concerned about how it could impact your evening travel. Allow yourself some extra time tomorrow night because of this that's going on. So 4, 5, 6 o'clock will kind of put you in that caution category. Low visibility, heavy rainfall, ponding on the roadways could make for some slick travel out there, especially with some of the leaves that are still coming down if they haven't already, just kind of sitting on the surface, and when the rain comes down it makes it extra slick. So waking up tomorrow morning, you may not notice the wind necessarily cranking, if you want to put it that way. Probably 5 to 10, gusts 15 to maybe 20 miles per hour. Then as we head closer to noon and into the early evening, that's when those winds pick up 30, maybe as much as 40 miles per hour here in the valley. So it's going to be downright windy, and that's something that we'll have to keep a very close watch on as well, because we have seen some rainfall over the past couple of days, and while we're not overly saturated, it doesn't take a whole lot of water on the ground and loosen some of those roots, especially with some of these gustier winds that we're watching. So that being said, rain coverage, the highest for you on your Wednesday, that first alert day for you, and then temperatures are going to come down as well. And I also want to mention it's going to get cold pretty quickly once we get behind this front. So Thursday, Friday, that's when temperatures are going to be back below that average high, which is right around 51 for this time of year. Heading Saturday into Sunday, that's when we're going to see those gusty winds really bring in that colder and drier air. And yes, there is the chance that we could see some snowfall Friday into Saturday. I know it's not Christmas week, that's next week as we head towards next Tuesday and Wednesday, but the snowfall impact map will show you that there could be some moderate impacts across the foothills and the mountains. Once again, here in the valley, don't expect anything in terms of accumulations, at least as of now. Something could and totally change, but that's what we're looking at now in terms of the snowfall impact, mostly up towards the Smokies. So for those that are just joining us, I don't see any questions, which is good news, and if you do have any, feel free to answer those drop those in there, and I'll be more than happy to answer those for you here in the next little bit. But right now, we are looking at the opportunity to see some of these showers and storms to be on the stronger side now. Level 1 out of 5 risk. I'll post that on my social media page here probably within the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. And we'll kind of get things going just a little bit. But overall, we are looking at some of these showers and storms to cause maybe a little bit of concern on the roadways tomorrow afternoon for that evening commute. So don't be shocked if we, of course, see some of those heavier downpours 4, 5, 6 o'clock right during the heart of the rush hour. Also, when kids are getting out of school, that's another big reason that we wanted to issue this first alert weather day, more so for the impact rather than the severity of these storms. So that's what we're looking at right now. No problem. I see Bonnie says thanks for the info. Not a problem at all. So if something changes, we'll be the first to let you know. We'll keep this kind of short and sweet. I'm actually going to go reforecast for us this afternoon, meet up with meteorologist Ben Cathy, and we'll put in what we're seeing this afternoon. We'll be back on the air at WVLT News at 3:30 through 6 o'clock. Then we'll be back on at 7 o'clock, and of course tonight at 10 and 11 on the CW and WVLT News. So that's what we're looking at right now. Certainly things could change in terms of the time. It could speed up a little bit. It could slow down. But based on the time right now, probably between 1 p.m. all the way until about 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, we're looking at heavy rainfall. Could impact your outdoor plans and things like that. So we'll keep a close watch on that, and if something changes, we'll be the first to let you know. Till then, have a great evening.